laced up.
Let's go!
It's time for Banter with the boys.
Welcome back, football fans in Skull Nation.
Welcome back, everyone.
You don't have to be a Vikings fan, but it sure does help. That's what Tom Grossi says.
Oh,
You don't know about that, do you?
I know who he is, and I know his
Packer fan
I know
does.
his catchphrase.
It doesn't help?
No.
Anyways, week 7 football. We're back here.
Oh boy, I'm super excited for week 7.
It should be. We got our Vikings back. Your team's on a bye.
We have much needed bye.
So a free win.
That's right. We'll take it.
A little rest. Your team needs a little rest.
We need a lot of rest.
Our team needed a lot of rest, which we got. But we'll talk about my team here shortly. But we're going to start off with some Thursday night football.
Thursday.
Is that a car commercial? Thursday?
No.
Or was that
Sunday.
Sunday. All right. Yeah, there we go. We got it all. Steelers versus the Bengals. Couple old guys, Flacco and Rodgers, going head to head.
Oh man, this is exciting.
Battle
stuff.
40 plus.
That's right.
The icy hot.
The icy hot bowl.
The icy hot bowl.
Oh my goodness.
One's not playing too bad at football. The other one's on a new team
Again.
How are you feeling about this game?
I'm feeling good if the Bengals can get this to end in a tie.
Okay. 5.5. Vegas has it, which seems low. What are we not seeing?
I don't know. I mean, Trey Hendricks might be questionable.
Well, with the hip, or could be out with the hip.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it should be more.
That's what I was saying. I
Yeah.
think this is like a 7.5, 8.5.
Yeah.
But Vegas has that 5.5. You have Steelers defense is pretty dominant.
Yep.
A little banged up, but not too bad. They're playing coming off 2-game winning streak, I think, 3-game winning streak possibly.
2.
They won last week. They beat the Vikings. Metcalf kind of coming out a little bit now.
Him and Rodgers are figuring it out.
Running game struggling. I would still
yeah.
It's not where I would consider the typical Steelers Mike Tomlin team.
Yep. I think Gainwell, who was red hot there against the Vikings,
Disappeared real quick.
Yep.
On the other side of the ball, Bengals with Flacco coming in. This will be game 2 for him. Still have Chase Brown in the backfield.
Yeah.
Got Higgins and Jamar Chase
Yeah.
with his TikTok gritty. So the firepower is still there. Offensive line obviously has been a struggle. Last week, they still struggled.
Yep.
Defensively, they haven't really stopped anybody.
Right.
So why is it 5.5?
I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe they've got more trust in Flacco than
Than the rest of us.
Yeah.
So is that why you're picking the Bengals this week?
No, that's not why I'm picking
Okay.
the Bengals.
So who are you going with?
Not the Bengals. No,
Okay.
I'm picking the Steelers. And it really is more that Steelers front seven, just being able to put pressure on Flacco. Flacco has been around the league, knows pretty much like every offense. Another week in this Bengals offense, I'm sure will do him well for Higgins and Chase, but they got to get the ball out of his hand real quick, or he's going to get hounded by the Steelers.
Which I think Flacco can do. He's a vet. He's played against the Steelers before.
Yeah.
So nothing's really going to surprise him too badly.
Nope.
Ramsey, interesting matches up in the secondary. You got Ramsey. Think he follows Chase? Or do you think he's going to side with, and then Porter Jr. on the other side will just stick to his side?
If Porter Jr. can stay pretty healthy, I think they're going to stick to their sides. That's just what they normally do. Maybe on like key downs, like on like a fourth down or a third where Bengals
You see them matching up on that.
You might see a matchup, but
because they play a lot of man cover too. I believe the Steelers, and then come with pressure periodically.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's won the last 3 trips to Cincinnati. I'm also going with the Steelers. I don't think Flacco is going to be enough for him, and I think that Steelers defense, which I witnessed against the Vikings, can really get after a team. Also, Steelers probably with one of the top 5 secondaries in the league, which I think that's why that 5.5 is a interesting number for me. But I'm gonna roll Steelers. What's your final thoughts?
I think Steelers are going to steamroll.
Steamroll.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of trust in that Bengals front or that offensive line, and that defense is sketchy at best. So I think Aaron Rodgers and Metcalf are going to continue to figure things out and kind of light up the scoreboard.
Well, we got the Yinzers of Pittsburgh coming through across the board here at the Gridiron Updates. I'm assuming most of the other guys are going to go with the Steelers, but maybe we'll get a Bengals fan sliding in there. But we'll move on to game number 2 here in Week 7. We have the Los Angeles Rams versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. London game. Early in the morning, so get your... What's your biscuits?
Get your Pop-Tarts ready.
Your Pop-Tarts. Oh, warmed up, ready to go. So Jaguars coming off a disappointing game against Seattle last week.
Yeah.
Rams, they lost 2.
Yeah, they took an L.
So 2 L's coming into the London game. 3.5. Vegas has them for the Rams. Both teams 4-2. Hopefully, playoff hopefuls. Puka Nacua could be the difference maker if he's likely out. Mm-hmm. Devin Floyd on the other side, also sideline. Interesting fun fact, coaching connection. Liam Cohen was once on McVay's staff.
Oh.
So a little insider information there.
Another McVay coaching staff
off the old tree of the branch. Which way are you going here?
I kind of took a little bit of time to think about this one. Jags were flat against the Seahawks at home. And the Seahawks are an above average defense. I think the Rams are as good, if not better, on the defensive side of the ball than the Seahawks. So I think...
Well, you're going Rams over Seahawks on defense overall. Okay.
Yeah, overall there.
I don't think it's a reach, but...
The Puka injury worries me a little bit, but the Rams have enough other weapons where they can work through that.
They still have Adams and Higbee.
And Kyron Williams, and maybe Blake Corum will get out of the
old Fumaruski doghouse.
Yeah, I hope so. And it's Matthew Stafford, so he's been around.
He's been around. He's the old vet. He knows. He's seen it all.
So I think I have more confidence in the Rams than I do the Jags. Even though both teams took an L, I don't know if the Jags are going to bounce back this week against a tough Rams defense.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how I think Trevor Lawrence handles on a bounce back game like this, especially coming off a big emotional win over KC on that primetime game. Whether they can establish the running game against the Rams and keep this contest. I do think the Jaguars defense is good enough to give Stafford some fits. But I think overall the Rams are going to sneak one out here. I think it's going to be a close competitive game. I expect Trevor Lawrence to have a bounce back game. They need to get that running game established to really affect. So I think Trevor Lawrence is kind of a better play action style play. Really opens up Thomas Jr. on the outside. But I think the Rams have just enough to get it done. Puka's injury worries me a little bit, where I think the game's going to be a little bit closer, especially if he's sidelined. So I'm going with the Rams. So is Jacob. We'll get to the rest of this picks somewhere out to you guys to see whatever else done. We'll move on to the next game. The hometown heroes versus the evil Philadelphia Eagles. Minnesota Vikings at home.
Ooh.
Skull Nation, baby. We're coming off a bye. Vegas got the Eagles by 2.5. Eagles coming off 2 surprisingly losses.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak, which most people would laugh at me at the beginning of the season that was even a possibility. Let me give you your takes of this before I spew my Viking information.
All right. Well, so you're going to keep me in the dark. I don't know whether or not Minnesota is going to be starting J.J. McCarthy or Carson Wentz. Both are banged up. We don't know which quarterback Minnesota is going to put on the field.
Strategy.
Oh, so that's what that is?
Well,
strategery. And I question whether or not Minnesota is going to be able to successfully run the ball against the Eagles' front four.
who's a little banged up. Think Carter out last game?
He was out last week. I believe is expected to be back this week. He's a significant difference maker for that defensive line. We saw that against the Cowboys. I think we saw that we saw that against the Giants when the Giants scatterbooed all over them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we should turn that into a noun, scataboo.
I think so.
All right.
It's officially. Mark that down. Put it in the book.
So I have those questions, and I think both teams have really good pair of wide receivers. AJ Brown, Slim Reaper, and then you got
the Slim Reaper.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard that one. I like that.
Oh, that's really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been around for a bit.
I don't watch football, so.
And then, of course, you've got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. So you've got really good wideouts on both sides. It'll be interesting to see which secondary is going to be able to keep them under wraps. But I'm going to take the Eagles because I know we're getting Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, and I think those are the two. And I think you're going to get tush pushed out of that 2.5.
I hate to hear you saying that, even though I'm going completely the opposite way. I'm taking my Vikings. Yes, I think probably it's obviously the starting quarterback scenarios and everything. I feel like they're ended up going with Wentz. I just feel like JJ hasn't shown enough in practice or really full practice where I think they're going to push him along. I don't really want him to actually play against the Eagles the first week. Carter being out, if Carter's out, that definitely helps the offense and for the Vikings banged up offensive line. It's kind of questions what line we're going to get. Barkley scares the living crap out of me. I feel like he's the type of running back that just slaughters the Vikings. Will we be able to slow him down enough? Is also, I'm really interested in where the Eagles are at right now. Why are they struggling so bad? They were such a dominant team. They haven't really lost anybody to injury that's really changed anything. It's just they're consistently, some of their play calling has been really weird. I think I watched a little video on just their third down plays. They kind of ran the same curl, deep routes consistently over and over. So maybe their creative abilities on the offensive side has gotten a little skewed, or just trying to see what they get to do. But I think the Vikings are going to stay in this one. It's going to be at home. That we're going to be rocking. We got to keep it close and maybe squeak a little field goal, a little 17-19 style of game. But if it gets into a track meet, the Eagles definitely would probably be favored in this scenario. But I'm still going to my hometown Vikings on a close W win. So, Viking Nation, there you got it, baby. So, anything else you want to add to my takes? Anything you want to vomit up, chew up, spit at me? Tell me I'm an idiot?
No, I wouldn't say that to you.
Get your own podcast?
No, I like your takes. They're good. They're solid. We just choose to disagree on who's going to take the W on that.
And that's perfectly
okay.
fine. We can disagree on stuff and still sit in the same room.
That's right.
I love it. So moving on, that was game 3 of week 7 preview here on Gridiron Updates. Again, Jacob filling in for Coach Smelty. Again, I'm Rob. We got a Packer fan hanging out in the corner. I think he's going to join us next week so we can get some insights on the team across the border.
Yeah.
We got a battle with them coming up. Is it next week or when is it? A couple of weeks?
Week 10 or 12.
Week 10 now? Okay.
Early November.
No, that's all right. Well, you guys will probably be out of the playoffs by then,
Fast
so we
approaching.
should be good to go. Moving on to week 4, we have the hot Atlanta Falcons coming off a big win on Monday Night Football against the banged up 49ers, but are still 4-2. Key pieces missing out of them. Vegas 3.5 for the 49ers, which is surprising.
That's impressive.
That they have that much.
Yeah.
Is you think it's just the coach in the scenario why they get so much?
I think
They're kind
so.
of a plug and play kind of guy. It's not about who they're in there. Mac Jones is playing pretty solid for a backup this year.
I think it is, but that's all. I think the past couple of years, it's always been about who's that quarterback coming from that stay in San Francisco. I mean, Minnesota, you're all too familiar with it. Darnold was the backup in San Francisco 2 years ago. Goes to Minnesota last year, lights it up.
We're like the farm team of the NFL for quarterbacks.
So, so if you're a quarterback and needed some work,
Yep.
or at least revamping your game.
So who are we bringing in? We got Anthony Richardson. Who else right now could use a little QB whisper? I'm trying to think of the quarterbacks of the last couple of years that have fell off. There's probably too many to name, so we're moving on real quick.
Too many. So who you got?
I'm so surprised that it's 3.5. That I'm really interested in that, especially with Atlanta coming off such a hot game. I'm actually going to go with 49ers. I think McCaffrey's still that game-changing difference player, and I think that's why Vegas has him in that scenario.
That's interesting.
Mac's been playing good enough. I think they're, Pearsall probably should be, and Jennings will be back a little bit. Warner's going to be a tough loss, especially on that young defense. So that's the one thing that does worry me about who's going to be that field general in the middle of the field for that team. He kind of kept that team together, especially all those young players.
That's such a note stealer.
But I think Robert Saleh is the GOAT when it comes to that. Not the GOAT, maybe it's maybe a little too much, but he's pretty solid at calling defensive plays, and they got that team humming. So, and it'll be interesting. So I think it'll be a good game. I think it's going to be in high 20s.
Yeah.
I'm going 49ers.
Interesting. I do love Robert Saleh. I think he pours a mean Kool-Aid for that 49ers defense.
Does. Lots of sugar.
Yeah. And with the Falcons,
sweet. Come on, man.
With the Falcons, I alluded to this. You don't know which team you're going to get. They're really a Jekyll and Hyde. They got blown out by Carolina.
Yep.
And then they come back and beat Buffalo. And you're just like, so which team are we going to get here?
They look like an NFC Championship contending team last night.
Yeah. And then are they going to continue to give Bijan the ball? If they do that, I think they see a lot more success when Bijan gets more touches. But I also do still have the concerns of how many other weapons does Michael Penix have besides Bijan, Drake London. Pitts is...
But he hasn't really been enough to consider him a threat.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's...
Like the Vikings game when he played against us was his best game of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like... I mean, he's a serviceable tight end, but he's not like game breaking or game wrecking where it's like you have to account for him more. Like Sam Laporta with the Lions. I think Hawkinson too, to some extent. I don't feel like they have the weapons. But I do love that Penix is continuing to build chemistry with London, getting future thinking, getting Penix a second wide receiver to go alongside Drake London will be mission critical for him. I think the Fred Warner loss for that defense is really significant. And we saw it against the Buccaneers with shifts and motions.
Adjusting the defense on the fly, the field general aspect of it. Yep.
Absolutely. And they got burned. I think Saleh will be able to address some of that, but I don't think you're going to get somebody to like step in and turn all of that around real quick right away. I'm taking the Falcons questionably.
God, I knew you would. Smell it all the way from over here. It reeks of sadness. Either way. But finally, we're picking against different teams on the picks so far. Actually, we did last game too. So, but yeah, I can see where the Falcons. I mean, coming out the hot week, but like you said, which Falcons team are you going to get? 49ers, I think we kind of already know they're just a scrap style team. Like I was saying, with McCaffrey being the focus point for the 49ers to get it done. So moving on to our last game. This one's kind of a fun little one. Two inspiring NFC playoff teams. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Versus Detroit, the Roar has been restored Lions. Monday Night Football in the Motor City. Lions 4.5 favorites in Vegas. Which way you smelling there?
I smell Lions.
Lots of Lions?
No, I think what I think they're gonna pull. I think they're gonna squeak it out. Maybe 2-point game, 1.2 point game. Baker Mayfield is hot and is a lot to handle. Their wide receiver core is still banged up, but
does that not scare you enough? Are you just thinking Baker's in there? I don't care if I have Troy Williamson running streak routes.
Baker's gonna throw the ball to whoever's open. He's just gonna he's your modern day gunslinger right now, and he's got some like swagger or attitude about him where he's just like doesn't give two rips. He's gonna let it go, and he's gonna play hard.
Okay. Real hard.
Yeah, the Lions secondary being banged up, I think helps that to some extent for Baker and that young wide receiver
It does
group.
In that matchup scenario, yes.
But I think it boils down to Dan Campbell and that Lions team in general getting punched in the mouth at Kansas City. Brian Branch.
Wake him up a little bit, got embarrassed, a little
absolutely.
more focused at practice.
That they're gonna
dialed in, locked into the kids.
That they're gonna come back and they're gonna play their brand of football again, and they're gonna push the line. Gibbs and Montgomery are going to get going. They're going to play action, and that offense is going to keep them in the game. And hopefully, they're going to hope that their front four can do enough to keep Baker contained. That he's not gunning it all over the place to a bunch of 3, 4s, and 5s.
All right, we getting in the 30s in this matchup?
Yeah,
30-27 style game.
Maybe 35-32.
Okay,
35-33. Give me Lions, though.
Lions across the board. I'm also going with the Lions, too. I think, like you're saying, that receiver core, yes, they got it done last week. Baker did make some, kind of willed himself. It'll be really interesting, the matchup with Hutchinson versus the O-line, which they have a pretty good O-line in Tampa Bay. Bucky Irvin's still out. Is White going to be able to establish run game against that Lion? Yeah. So you got Campbell and what's the other linebacker? There's the A. Anzalone. So that'll be another really interesting matchup. I think they'll kind of determine the game there too. But I think the Lions are just, after last week, you said they're at home. They're going to get fired up. Buccaneers do have, Baker. He's hot right now, but I just don't think they have enough gun power to stay with the Lions this week. So I'm going with the Lions. Highest projected scoring game of the week, according to Vegas. So we're talking up into the 30s. 52.5 is where we're at.
I'll take that over.
You will. So any other fun games we saw? We got Packers versus the Cardinals. We were talking off air a little bit. We were talking about whether Kyler Murray is going to play. Jacoby Baker, or not Bob,
Brissett.
threw over 300, had a nice game.
Yeah.
So we all maybe caught quarterback controversy down there. Maybe. I mean, at some point you're talking about, do you give up on Kyler Murray? Is he the guy?
I think you get, yeah. I have.
Because that offense has been kind of struggling this year.
I kind of gave up on him last year.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
And then on the other side for the Packers, they're still contending to the playoffs. Whether Love in that receiving core continues up. Golden looks like he's starting to come into his own, getting a lot more targets. Josh Jacobs had an excellent last week.
Are the Packers ever going to trade Dobbs? They keep talking. It seems like it's a topic of conversation the past couple of years is that they're going to trade Romeo Dobbs, and they just never do.
I mean, they have enough guys. I mean, when does Watson come back?
Watson, I think he's coming back
shortly.
Week 8?
So. Yeah, so I mean that could possibly that receiver room's getting awfully full with a lot of talent, and there's only so much ball to go around, especially when you got a all-pro running back and a beast of a tight end. Oh, that was another clip I was gonna drop. I don't know if you saw Tucker Kraft touchdown. I know Coach Smelty is a big fan of him, so I was gonna drop that into it. So should be a good fun week, good matchups all the way. So thanks for joining us here tonight.
Thanks, Sippy.
Thanks, Kevin, back there for running all the stuff. We got a bunch of video and a bunch of graphics rolling. So trying to add to the show. So like, subscribe, say what up on YouTube, on X. Listen to us on Spotify,
Apple Podcast thing, YouTube.
Yep. Even if you're trying to go to sleep and this voice puts you to bed real quick, hit the 15-minute sleeper marker and you'll be out. So till next week, we'll be back. Thanks for joining us. Skull.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. Tune in next time for more Banter with the Boys.